Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. I have for you today a very cute craft idea for a Mother's Day gift. A utensil caddy for a crafting table, or a caddy for a desk, or perhaps a caddy for a sewing table. I made this caddy very simply with cardboard tubes, fabric, a wood round base, and a mini Lazy Susan turntable. I created a few different options for an adornment piece for the front of the caddy, and here you have it, a very cute and expensive gift for Mother's Day, or perhaps you would like to make one for yourself, as I did. Welcome to my subscribers and to all visiting my channel today. If you enjoy this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not already a subscriber to my channel. Okay, let's get busy creating this very cute gift idea for Mother's Day. Let's look at the materials that you will need to create this piece. I have here a 7-inch wood round that I purchased at Walmart, but I'm certain that you could find something to suffice as well at the Dollar Tree. This is the little mini Lazy Susan. It's 4 inches round. I purchased this one on Amazon. They have them in different colors and different sizes. I just typed in a search for a mini Lazy Susan turntable, and there were a lot of choices on Amazon to choose from. I have here some fat quarters, as they're called, from Walmart. But they have them as well at Hobby Lobby and Joann Fabrics or anywhere they sell fabric. They come in 18 by 20 inch pieces of fabric. I have there 3 different types, a black with a white polka dot, a black with a very tiny white polka dot, and a cherry fabric. I have here some sturdy cardboard tubes. Now, these I had purchased on Amazon last year for another project, but I'm going to tell you that if you have any gift wrap in your stash, check the tubing, because the higher end gift wraps have a very sturdy tubing for the roll that holds the gift wrap, and you may be able to use something that you already have and just simply cut it with an X-Acto, a knife or a razor knife, to the desired length of tubes. I used 7 tubes altogether. I used 6 at 4 inches tall, and those are 2 inches in circumference. And then I created a little bit taller one for the center, and that one I was 5.5 inches tall. I have there some Mod Podge that I'm going to use to adhere the fabric to the cardboard tubing. You'll need a sponge applicator to do that. I also have some wood rounds to create some embellishments to give you some options to put on the front of your caddy if you should choose to do that. Or you could simply leave it plain and just cover the cardboard tubing with different types of fabric. But I'll give you some options. I have there a 2-inch wood round, and I created a flower using a 2-inch wood round and then 6 1-inch wood rounds to create the petals. There's some other options there. Some of those wood pieces I had gotten at Hobby Lobby, but you could create a bigger flower using different shapes of wood pieces. By simply covering them with the fabric, you can create some very cute embellishments for the front of the caddy. So I'm just showing you some options there, and I'll continue to show you some different options as we go along. These are some flower options. These are at Hobby Lobby, and they also have these at the Dollar Tree. Very easy to cover those wood pieces with that fabric with Mod Podge. I have there some trims that you could use to also add embellishments to your cardboard tubing. There's a little tiny rickrack, a very pretty black and white twine, and a white ribbon with pretty stitching along the edges. Those are just some options to decorate your cardboard pieces or your wood pieces. Now for my center tube, I'm going to be adding an extension on to my 4-inch tubing because I want the center tube to be a little bit taller than the 6 tubes that will be surrounding it. So I just measured out another 1.5 inches on one of my tubing pieces, my cardboard tubing pieces. I measured it all the way around and I used a razor knife very carefully, and I was able to cut through that cardboard tubing very easily. Now you do need to use a very sturdy cardboard tube for this. You can't use, for example, a paper towel roll. That would be too flimsy. So you want the piece to have some stability, but a heavy cardboard is very adequate for this project. I'm going to be wrapping those cardboard tubes with fabric. And again, if you're going to be cutting these cardboard tubes, be very careful. You can use an X-Acto knife or a razor knife, but you just want to be very careful not to cut yourself, obviously. And I'm just going to be placing that 1.5-inch section there. I'm going to attach it to one of the 4-inch cardboard tubings, which you see there on that tray. We're just going to use some hot glue for that. The seam is not going to show, but as you can see there, it looks better and it looks a little more functional to have one of the cardboard tubings a little bit taller, for example, to hold like a pair of scissors. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to take some hot glue. You could use Aleene's Tacky Glue as well. And I'm just going to run a stream of glue around the top of that 4-inch tall cardboard tube there and attach that 1.5-inch piece onto there. Now the seam was going to be perfectly hidden because I'm going to be wrapping that with a fabric, and as well it's going to be completely concealed with those 6 tubing pieces all around it sitting on that wood round. And it was easy as that to extend that tube to be longer. And there you have it. Now I'm going to be showing you, as we go along, some ideas for little embellishments if you want to add them to the front of your caddy. You could personalize your embellishments, or you could just create something pretty to put on, to attach to those cardboard tubes. Here I'm showing you a flower. I took a little bit of batting and put it on that 2-inch wood round. I just took a little glue, adhered that batting to that wood round, and I cut out a circle of that cherry fabric. And I'm just going to cover that to make a little bit of a puffy center for a flower. So I just laid my wood piece down and cut out a circle approximately as big as I thought I needed it. And then I'm going to be cutting little slits around that fabric And I'm just going to fold that over, use some hot glue, and just cover that wood piece. I left, I want to say about 1/4 of an inch around the edge of that circle, and that's where I cut my slits, as you see me doing there. This enables you to comfortably wrap that fabric around that circle wood round. And this is how we're going to cover that wood round for the center of the flower. Now this piece would be so cute as well in florals, in pretty colors, pinks and orchids and purples, yellows. Oh, you just so many options, so many possibilities. I chose to do the cherry fabric because I really liked it. But think about the possibilities for this piece and how you might decorate your cardboard tubes to create a really cute Mother's Day gift. Or, as I mentioned before, just a caddy for your own craft table or your sewing table or for your desk. And you can see there, I'm using a little bit of hot glue and just folding over all those little slits that I cut so I can cover that wood round for the flower center. I'm going to be doing the same thing exactly for the 6 little 1-inch round wood circles, which is going to serve as the petals for the flower. Again, this is just an option or an idea to dress up your caddy. This is a very easy piece, and as well, it's inexpensive, especially if you use some cardboard tubing from a gift wrap roll that you already have in your home. Okay, so same thing. There's our little puffy center for the flower. So we're going to be doing the same thing for those petals or the little 1-inch wood rounds. I just cut out 6 pieces of fabric. And I'm going to, after I take some Mod Podge and just adhere all of those 1-inch circles to the fabric, then I'm going to just cut around those wood circles and create the slits exactly the same way that I did for the center of the flower. The Mod Podge works great with this fabric with respect to any of the embellishments that you create, and it works extremely well on that cardboard tubing. So I'm just adhering my little circles in the center of that fabric, and then I'll just cut around those wood circles, leaving a little bit around the edges, cut my little slits, and fold the fabric around that wood round, and that's going to, as I mentioned, create some little petals for the flower. I also did a puffy heart with a wood heart cutout. I did another option. I did 2 small hearts, which are about 1.5 inches big or long. And I covered those with the cherry fabric. That's another option. And then I have one more, which I really loved, with the word mom on it. I'm going to show you that in just a little bit. But now I have my wood rounds all adhered to the fabric, and as I mentioned, I'm going to cut around those wood circles in the shape of the circle, and then I'm going to cut slits and use some hot glue and just completely cover those wood circles to create petals for the flower. Now for that, I'm just going to use hot glue when I have those all completed. And I'm just going to glue those on the underside of the center flower circle there. And it creates a very cute flower. I'm cutting the little slits there. And you see that pink silicone mat on the table there. This is a great find. I found this at the Dollar Tree. It's something new. I've never seen it before. But it's just a thin silicone sheet. And I absolutely love it because I am always placing my glue gun down just wherever. And I always end up with a glue mess. It's inevitable, every single project. And this mat is wonderful because I can just lay my glue gun down on there. And if it drips a bit, no problem because it's right on that mat. And that was a great $1.25 that I spent at the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love it. It's made of the same material that the little finger protectors are made of. So now you can see here, I'm just wrapping my little 1-inch wood round. And I'm using the fabric that has the very tiny, tiny white polka dots that matches the fabric with the cherries. I laid down all of my little petals. There's 6 of them in a circle. And then I'm just going to put hot glue on the back of my larger round there that I created the cherry fabric one. And that's going to be the center of my flower. And I did later on, I don't know if I showed it, but I did wrap a little bit of that braided cord around the center of my flower. Now, all of these suggestions are just that. They're just suggestions, and they're options if you want to add a little something cute to your caddy. And here I am just taking some hot glue, putting it around the perimeter of my flower center there. I'm just going to pop it down on top of the petals, and that will be my my flower option for this piece. Now, all of the options that I keep referring to can just simply be glued on to the cardboard tubing pieces that serve to hold items on that caddy, such as crafting tools or sewing tools, or if it's on a desk, just pens and pencils and a ruler, whatnot, whatever the case may be. But look at that cute little flower. Super cute embellishment for that piece, and it really matches with everything that I did on the cardboard tubing, which I'm going to show you here in just a bit. Okay, now we're going to wrap the cardboard tubing. Now for my taller piece, I cut out a piece of fabric 7 inches by 6 inches. And for my 4-inch tall tubings, those are 7 inches by 4.5. I cut it just a little bit longer than the actual cardboard tube. Now, I did take all of my fabrics after I cut them out. By the way, I'll put everything in the description box, all of the measurements. I ironed everything. I didn't want any wrinkles or folds in my fabric. And I was showing you there just a second ago how I folded over one of the ends and ironed it down. I did that so it would have a nice smooth seam on my cardboard tubing. Now I'm doing the taller one here, and I'm just going to take my Mod Podge with a sponge applicator, and I'm just going to do a section at a time. This process went very smoothly and very easily. I put a generous portion of Mod Podge, and I'm going to start with the raw edge of that fabric, meaning the edge of the fabric that I didn't iron down. I'm just using that, the frayed edge part of the fabric. And I match up the edges, and I'm going to start by adhering my fabric to this roll. Now this was, as I mentioned, so easy to do. This fabric went on beautifully. No problems whatsoever. Now there will be a little bit of overhang or excess material on one end. I did that intentionally so that I could trim it up in the end. I just wanted to be certain that I didn't cut it too short, so I would rather have it a little bit longer and then just trim it up later. So I'm going to continue applying sections of the Mod Podge and then pressing down my fabric. Now, I think it's an excellent idea, if you're going to do this project, to mix your patterns. I'm sure you're not surprised when I say that, because I say it about virtually everything. If it's a bow or no matter what, I think mixing patterns is an awesome idea, and it creates so much visual interest to a piece. I actually found it to be such an easy process doing this. It went very quickly. I had no ripples or issues whatsoever. A very easy project for the beginner crafter. And I'm going to proceed to continue wrapping around that fabric until I come to the end, and then I'm going to take that little area that I ironed down, just I want to say maybe 1/8 of an inch. I just folded it under and pressed it down. And this is going to enable me to have a nice smooth edge at the seam where my fabrics meet after I wrap it all the way around. This just gives it a nice finished look. But I do take the seams on all of my cardboard tubings, all 7 of them, and I turn them so that the seam is toward the back, and you really don't even notice it once it's on the caddy. Now I do put some of my Mod Podge over the little bit of the fabric once I get all the way around, and that way I have something for that little fold to adhere to. Now you'll see here how I make sure that I have my little fold turned under. And this, as I mentioned, creates a very nice finished seam. You can see I'm doing it right there. Now I do take I have some very nice sharp fabric scissors, And I'm going to go around the bottom and just trim off any of that excess fabric. Now, for my particular caddy, I used 2 different fabrics on the 6 pieces that go around the outer perimeter. And for the center tube, I used a different fabric. I used the black fabric with the bigger polka dots. So you see, I mixed my patterns. Now, I did use a paintbrush that I can just throw away, and I wanted to be sure to get my seams very nicely closed and to conceal them as much as possible by just having a very nice finish to the seams. So I'm just using a little paintbrush there to apply my Mod Podge so that I can achieve that. I press it down, and now I have a beautiful closure to that fabric on that round. Now, I'm not sure what happened to the clip, but I took my cardboard tubing outside and I spray painted it. And the purpose of doing that was to get the inside of the tubing. I wasn't concerned about the outside, obviously, because that is going to be covered with the fabric. But I just took my tubing outside, took some black spray paint, and I just sprayed my tubing so that I got the inside of my tubing with some paint, because I didn't want that cardboard color, obviously, to be showing. I thought I had a clip of that. Easy enough, though. You just take it outside, lay your tubings out in a box or whatever, however you choose to spray paint, and just give them a spray. And at the same time, I took my 7-inch wood round and I sprayed that as well. Now I'm going around the edges of my cardboard tubing and just making sure that I have everything all smoothed out. I don't want any frayed edges or any fabric, any jagged fabric there. So I just took my finger with a little bit of Mod Podge and made sure everything was all smoothed out. Any fraying I snipped off with my scissors. I just wanted those cardboard tubes with the fabric on to look as neat and clean as possible. And I did this with all of my tubing, and there you have it. And look how pretty that looks. Transformed from a plain brown cardboard tubing into something really pretty. And there's that wood round that I sprayed with black spray paint. I'm going to use some E6000 to attach my little turntable. It's plastic. It's 4 inches in diameter. And I'm going to attach that to the wood round. And this, of course, is what's going to enable you to spin your caddy on your desk or your craft table or a sewing table. And that way you can just pick out what you need out of the cardboard containers. We'll call them containers now. We won't call them tubing anymore. And I'm just going to take that and pop it right in the center of my wood round. And that E6000 will hold that very well. I want to get that right in the center. And I'm going to let that sit and dry for a bit. And then I'm going to place my containers on that wood round, and they fit just perfectly with the dimensions of the cardboard tubing that I gave you. But you can always alter that. If you use a little bit larger diameter cardboard tubing, you could just purchase a little bit larger wood round. Okay, so I'm going to show you another little decorative option. I have there a wood cutout heart. I have a little bit of batting that I'm hot gluing right to the wood cutout, and I'm just going to create a puffy heart with that cherry fabric. So just like I did with the circles, I'm just going to cut out around the wood cutout, cut the little slits, and cover that heart just the way I did the circles. And the same thing with these two little wood hearts. I believe they're about an inch and a quarter. Okay, so I've placed all of my little containers on the wood round with the turntable underneath. Now you'll notice that I did embellish the top and the bottom of my containers with that braided cord. Now you could as well use rickrack, small tiny rickrack, or a bigger rickrack. You could use ribbon. You could, if you wanted to do something a burlap like, you could put a jute twine around the top and the bottom. Think about the possibilities. This piece has so much creative potential. Now I'm going to take some Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm going to start placing my containers on my wood round. Now I want this one well placed right in the center. This is my tallest container. And I took a ruler and just kind of measured around just to be sure that I had it exactly in the center, because I'm going to be placing my 6 containers around that. So I want everything to fit comfortably on that wood round. So I needed to be sure I had it centered well. And I'm going to place my seams toward the back so they don't show. So in plain words, I'm using the nicest sides of my containers facing outward. Look how cute that is. So functional and such a really cute piece. And if you make it as a gift, every time the recipient uses that Caddy, they will think of you. And I just think there's something beautiful about that. Okay, so I took another heart. I didn't put any puffiness with the batting on there. I just covered it with some fabric. And I took some of my little Rae Dunn stick-on letters that I always have in my stash. You could use a Cricut as well to create those. And I just stuck those right on the fabric, put a little bit of Mod Podge on there, and I can just take that and hot glue it right to the front of the Caddy. And look how cute. What a beautiful gift. I love this. Now, if you wanted to use little hearts, you could take those as well and just glue them and situate them on that one of the containers, kind of in that fashion that I'm showing you there. And that would add a little embellishment to the front if you don't want to use the other heart, or if you don't want to use the flower. Or maybe you have an idea for something you could put on the Caddy. Maybe you could pick up some type of little wood frame and put a picture in it decorate the frame with the fabric, insert the picture, and glue that on. It would have to be small, but you could do it. That flower is a good size. You could take a picture frame and glue it to two of the tubings or two of the containers, just like I glued the heart on there. And you could put a picture on the inside. That would be a great idea for Mother's Day. Look how cute this is. And again, I say, imagine that you used different types of fabrics on here and all the possibilities. I could see this being beautiful with some little floral fabric, maybe mixing it up with some polka dot fabric. So cute. I just love it. And I hope you do as well. And I hope you feel inspired to make one, either as a gift or for yourself. And here is the one that I made, and I put all kinds of crafting tools inside of it. And it's so functional as well as just really super, super cute. If you like what you see on my channel, I hope you will give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber. And until next time, you all take care.